Up next on The Way of the Renaissance Man, discovering the virtue of happiness. Welcome to The Way of the Renaissance Man podcast. This is a show about ideas, personal empowerment, and celebrating the rational life. Our goal is to help each other discover the tools needed to better focus our minds, integrate our thoughts with actions, and live the lives we really want. I'm your host, Jim Woods. You ever wonder how to achieve happiness? Well, we have a person here who's an expert at it. Joel Wade, welcome to the podcast.
Thank you, Jim.
Thank you. So, for those who don't know, which was even me not too long ago, tell us about your work. You do a lot of stuff. You've written a book that I love the title, The Virtue of Happiness.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I know where you got that title, but we'll let that unfold as we speak. But tell us about the book. Tell us about your work. Tell us about yourself.
Yeah. Well, so my work is about how to make a happy life. And I don't mean a happy life like we're here in Las Vegas and, having happy times or having everything just go right or getting everything you want. I'm talking about happiness the way Aristotle talked about happiness, eudaimonia, which my favorite definition of that is success of being human. So how do you make a life you can be happy about and proud of? How can you make a life that works really well and that you feel overall satisfied? We're going to have different moods. You're going to feel sad sometimes, angry sometimes, scared sometimes.
Yeah, you're a human being.
You're a human being. There's ebbs and flows to everything. So the idea that, well, let's just do everything right and we'll be happy all the time. When people try and make a happy life by having happy events or happy feelings all the time, that actually undermines their overall happiness. When they've researched folks, that's a bad way to achieve a happy, high sense of well-being.
Do you think happiness should be a goal, or do you think happiness should be the byproduct?
I think happiness should be on your radar like a point on the shore to aim your boat. So it's where I come from in my book, The Virtue of Happiness, is that we create a virtuous cycle. So a lot of the virtues that we think about, like gratitude, courage, integrity, follow through, achievement, these are things that when we're focused on building those virtues, practicing them till they're habits, as Aristotle would say, that's what creates a foundation for a happy life. So, in other words, if you C.S. Lewis said courage is every virtue at the testing point. So say you value honesty. Well, sometime there's going to be a situation where it's going to be scary to say what's true. You need courage. If you don't have courage, you're not going to be able to follow through on your own values.
It's a rare virtue.
Yeah, but actually it is and it isn't. Because we need courage for lots of little things throughout the day. It's not just running into a burning building to rescue somebody.
Yeah, it's not the big courage that everyone associates with. It's the courage to face every day with humor and with humility and with passion.
And in fact, that's why I do what I do and love what I do. Because I get to see, when I work with my clients as a life coach or a therapist, I get to see people that are striving to bring their best forward. And that takes courage, because you have to go against your old habits. You have to go counter to a lot of just sort of natural flows of things. And we get good at whatever we practice, good or bad. So our good habits help us. I suppose we don't have to think about doing certain things because we built good habits. But our bad habits, we have to counter those. We have to counter things that we learned when we were younger sometimes, and that takes courage.
Right. Now, how does one go about cultivating these traits? How do you go? What's the kind of deep work that you do? What's the kind of thing that my listeners can take away from this? Say, I think I'm going to try that. I think that's going to be something that might help me.
Okay, so let's take courage, because we're on that.
Okay.
It's not just something that you're born with. Courage is a matter of managing fear and deciding to act. Those are the two main ingredients to courage. So if you want to build your courage, find ways of managing your fear. We all get anxious sometimes. Some people get terribly anxious, and they need, there's nothing wrong with needing some help dealing with anxiety. There are a lot of great tools and things you can do to bring that anxiety down to a manageable level.
What are some of those tools?
Well, a very simple one that your listeners can try right now. This is so simple. It's almost silly how simple it is. But if you slow your breathing and deepen it to about 4 to 6 breaths per minute for about 2 minutes, that will generally calm you. It's not going to eliminate anxiety from your life. But if you're feeling anxious, you're probably breathing shallowly and high up in your chest. By slowing and deepening your breathing just a bit, not like big gasps, but just maybe 20% deeper, that brings your breath down, and it gets your nervous system out of that panic place, out of that emergency place.
It's almost like a kind of a mindfulness meditational kind of breathing. Yeah, that's something that I advocate, and it's something that's remarkably difficult to do. Mm-hmm. You think it'd be easy just to kind of concentrate on your thoughts, but it's not. Concentrating on your breathing is remarkably difficult.
It takes practice, especially if you haven't done it.
I tried it. The first time I tried it, I was like, wait a minute. I'm thinking about what I have to do later today. I'm thinking about this. I'm thinking about that. Because if you're a thoughtful person, if you're a person that has a lot of ideas that you want to get out, you're a type A type person, it's difficult to pull that back, rein that in.
Yeah.
Some people have the big conversations and they're really good big, but it's hard to pull back and be subtle and be intimate with your conversation. So I try to mix that both in, but it's not hard. It's not easy. It's hard. So you have something that you have a principle that you advocate that I like, and I call it true grit, but I know you just call it grit. Tell me about that.
Yeah, well, it's not my principle, but it's a principle that's being researched and talked about in the field, particularly as positive psychology, and it's the ability to persevere and through challenges and hardship to achieve goals over time. And so you stay with things, and you follow through, and you endure the hard times, because any big project, you're going to have some hard times. You just are. Life isn't just easy all the time. It's not.
Wouldn't be worthwhile if it was, would it?
No, it'd be too. That means you're not challenging yourself enough.
Right. I mean, the perfect example of that for me is learning how to play music. Learning how to play the guitar, learning how to get good at the guitar, learning how to sing well, learning how to play piano. That's all really hard, especially when you start out.
Yeah.
You get good fast, but then you find that there's a certain plateau that you reach, and you're not getting good as fast as you could get, and you get frustrated. And a lot of people quit at that level.
Yeah.
Like a lot of people, they say they've been playing guitar for 10 years, but really they've been playing 1 year of guitar for 10 years.
Yeah, exactly.
So they never get better. So how can we break that? I mean, there's little barriers. How can we kind of get over those?
Well, I don't know if this has been your experience, but with me, with playing music myself and other skills, those plateaus, you're generally actually getting better. It just doesn't feel like it. It's like you can feel you could be even better, and so it feels disappointing at the time.
Yeah,
so
you don't get that
in there. It's right before another burst of improvement.
Right. Yeah. The milestone, the improvement comes in bursts with any kind of hard skill. Yeah. You have these breakthroughs, they call them, in a lot of things, and that's true of like martial arts practice. It's true of any skill that you have to do and that you have to repeat, and it's also true for thinking skills.
Yeah.
You don't become a good philosopher by just being a philosopher. You have to work it out, think it through, ruminate on a problem for a long time. Yeah. A good economist will do that. Yeah. A good stock market analyst. I mean, I've had points in my market analyst career that where I was like, I don't really know what's going on here, but then a light bulb switch, comes over, and hey, maybe that's a way we can help people.
Yeah. And the key element to that is having a growth mindset. Carol Dweck did a lot of great research, and others as well. And she has a great book, Mindset. It talks about a growth versus a fixed trait mindset. So when you think of the things you've achieved as sort of, well, I was born smart or clever or talented or something, and you attribute it to that, then you tend to give up early. You tend to not take on challenges, because the best you can do, if you're so smart, the best you can do is neutral. The best you can do is what's already expected, like it's already happened. But that's not really how we work. We grow, we learn, and we have the capacity to expand our horizons continuously. And it's important to take ownership of the things we've earned, and not just see it as, well, it was going to happen that way.
Right.
Being able to feel proud of, and not arrogant or boastful, but just owning the sense that I've earned this and that. I'm a person who did this, and really taking that in and having that as your orientation. Then if you fail at something, you don't go, oh, well, I guess that shatters my whole self-concept. If you fail at something, you go, okay, well, let me reassess. What do I need to do to get better next time?
Right. We talk a lot on the show about failure and how good it is for you.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's the best teacher. You never learn anything by doing something perfect.
No.
You learn something by messing it up.
Yeah.
And saying, damn it, I got to figure out how to do it right next time.
Yeah. It's glorious and wonderful when it's perfect, but,
yes.
But you got to enjoy those moments, not take it as the expected
Well, you got to
thing.
embrace the failure too.
Yeah.
You say, okay, I mean, there's very few entrepreneurs that started out that are really successful, that started out hitting a home run their first time out.
Right.
Most people, like, it's a third, fourth, fifth, sixth business, 10th business. Before they actually know what the hell to do, And it's difficult.
It is.
Life is difficult, but
it is.
Once you kind of accept that, you make the decision to accept that, and you try to say, okay, this is what it is. I know I'm going to die one day.
Yeah.
But how am I going to spend the time between now and then?
Yeah, and then you're focusing on your purpose, not the anxiety or the difficulty or the pain. Those are just features. But if you're focusing on your anxiety, like, oh, I don't want to do this, it's scary or something, then that can get you stuck and you'll want to give up. But if you say, okay, that's just a feature of what I'm doing here. What's my purpose? Remind yourself, what am I here to do? Okay, that's what I'm going to do. And there's the anxiety over there, or the worry over there. And that can just be there in the background rather than being your main focus.
Yeah, I think the clarity of purpose is one of the things that we talk about here, because purpose gives you the ability to sustain pull through that, have that grit work. If you don't have the purpose in mind, you don't have the objective in mind, how are you going to know to grunt it out and get there? I mean, if you're just grunting something out and with no end game, who wants to do that?
Yeah.
That won't motivate you. That'll make you quit faster than anything.
Oh, yeah. I play water polo still on the master's level, and we have an excellent team. And I always, at 45 years later, I still feel anxious before every game.
Right.
And if I think about, okay, I got to calm, then what I'm thinking about is I can't wait for the game to be over so this anxiety can go away. But if I accept the anxiety there, and okay, I'm getting revved up for the game and it matters, then what am I here to do? I'm here to play my very best. That's all. I'm not even here to win, because I don't have control over that. I'm here to play my very best. Then the anxiety can just be a feature.
I love that, because life is just a basket of features. Some of them are good.
Yep.
Some of them, we could do without, but we really can't.
Yeah.
All right, on that, thank you for coming on the show, and tell us where we can find you online.
Okay.
Tell us, and it's the book is called The Virtue of Happiness.
The Virtue of Happiness, and my website is drjoelwade.com, drjoelwade.com.
Go there, everyone. Thank you, Joel.
Thank you. Oh, I'm also going to be launching a podcast the end of July, so you can find it there.
I hope to be a guest.
Yeah, great. I'd love to.
Thank you.
Okay.